Plymouth is putting out the call for people to become part-time on-call firefighters. Reporter Sonia Goins has more on what it takes to serve the city.
The new firefighters will serve 3 stations, and they'll have to be ready at a moment's notice.
I would love to bring on at least 8 new part-time firefighters.
Those Plymouth part-time on-call firefighters must be ready to respond to a variety of emergencies. They do everyday jobs until a fire call comes, then they transition to firefighting. Each on-call firefighter works an average of 10 to 15 hours a week.
There are some physical requirements that go with it. I mean, it is a labor-intensive job when we're in the act of firefighting.
Battalion Chief Steve Baker says recruiting part-time on-call firefighters can be challenging because of the requirements, like having to live within an 8-mile travel time to one of the city's 3 fire stations.
Things have spread out a little bit more. People don't stay in the same community always as long. Jobs change more often than they used to.
Candidates must be at least 18 years old, have a high school degree or equivalent, and be dedicated to serving the community.
Helping somebody on what could be their worst day is probably the single most gratifying thing you can experience in your life. And if you haven't had the opportunity to do that, then I think everybody owes that to their community.
If you're interested, you'll have to act soon. The job posting closes at 8 a.m. Monday, July 11th. In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
This past week in Maple Grove, an opportunity to give a long overdue thank you to veterans who served in Vietnam.
We came home, we were ignored and told to just forget it and suck it up and just live, get back into civilization. And we probably more or less took care of ourselves.
Bob Malecki from Brooklyn Park is one of the veterans who was recognized with a pin and a commemorative medal. Representative Dean Phillips has been working with the Vietnam War Commemoration Program to pay tribute to these veterans.
At a time where our country needs to elevate principle and honor and integrity and decency and civility, that's what today commemorates. People who came home to pour welcomes and recognition. And you can tell by some of the emotion that was expressed today that it was very meaningful.
Phillips' father served in Vietnam and died in a helicopter crash there. Family members and friends nominated the 14 veterans who were recognized on Wednesday. A Plymouth woman is hoping to inspire others like her. Dee Dee Winfield recently completed a 99-mile bike race through rugged terrain in northern Minnesota. As Delane Cleveland reports, it's an event where most of the participants are male, but Dee Dee hopes to change that.
Dee Dee Winfield doesn't need perfect weather to go for a bike ride. For this Plymouth resident, cycling is a year-round activity.
So I definitely ride more in the summer, but I do ride year-round. So a fat bike, ride gravel, ride on the road some, mountain biking, single track. So yes, all year round.
Hopping on a bike is part of her lifestyle.
This is something that I get to do for myself. I kind of see it as a therapy, a release.
You'll often see her riding the trails along Theodore Worth Parkway in Golden Valley.
It's pretty close to my house. I love the trails here. They sort of remind me of the East Coast in some of the sections as they're a little rockier. It's fun, flowy. You can get some good miles in.
For Dee Dee, cycling isn't just a form of exercise.
I moved here 6 years ago. I met some people riding and they were like, oh, you have to do this Lutsen 99er. So this is my 3rd year actually doing it.
The Lutsen 99er is a 99-mile bike race that starts on the north shore of Lake Superior. It has more than 1,800 participants. And during the event on June 25th, Dee Dee came in 3rd among the women's group, finishing in 6 hours and 17 minutes.
I think your target is always just to do the very best you can, and sometimes you know where you are place-wise, but I didn't know, so coming in 3rd was, I was very happy with that.
Yet out of the 1,800 participants, event organizers from Lifetime say only 10% were women. It's something they'd like to change. And Dee Dee is hoping to inspire other women to follow her lead.
I think it would be awesome. It's always great to be out there cheering the women on. Everyone's so positive, so having more women in the field is always a great experience.
In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
And finally, in Golden Valley, a community garden in Medley Park. Here again is Sonia Goins.
And got plenty of water.
The heat and humidity on Thursday didn't stop members of the Hopkins Men's Shed Group.
Here's the plan.
Sweat dripped down their shirts as they hammered and drilled. The group of retired men do a service project every Thursday, and this week they're building a tool shed for the community garden.
There's 70 pages of instructions, and we found that when we actually read the instructions, it went pretty well.
The community tool shed is the brainchild of Golden Valley resident Michelle Christensen and her group One Good Deed.
They had wanted a shed for people to put their tools into so they wouldn't have to bring them back and forth, but they didn't have appropriated funds.
Earlier this year, Michelle applied for a $10,000 grant from H&R Block, and she won.
It's a permanent structure, and so I suggested that we actually put tools into the shed as well.
She also got Home Depot to donate 40 buckets for gardeners to use to haul their tools around in.
I'm very touched that all these pieces came together.
Once everything is complete, these old tennis courts will be transformed into the Medley Park Community Garden with 30 raised garden beds.
It's for people just to put their hands in the soil and just kind of come back and have an opportunity to socialize with neighbors.
The garden is expected to be completed next spring.
To know that many, many people are going to enjoy this for many years to come is absolutely wonderful.
In Golden Valley, Sonia Goins, CCX News.